Hello, and welcome to LoreDive, where we look into the backstories of all of our favorite video games. Today we are going into the latest chapter of Dead by Daylight, Resident Evil. With its new location, the Raccoon City Police Department, its two new survivors, Jill Valentine and Leon Scott Kennedy, and its new killer, the Nemesis. The Raccoon City Police Department. The Raccoon City Police Department was established in 1969, when the then rapid expansion of the city necessitated a dedicated police force beyond the Clay County Sheriff's Department. In order to fulfill this need, the R.P.D. purchased the since-closed Raccoon City Art Museum, repurposing it to fit their needs. Though offices and cells now occupy the areas where paintings and sculptures were proudly displayed, some aspects of the building's museum roots remain, with its large open main hall, winding maze-like structure, and old-fashioned themed blocks and puzzles. The area ensures that one could easily become confused if you were unfamiliar with its structure. Now the smell of blood and festering limbs permeates the concrete walls of the police station, as when the city fell to T-virus infection, evil took residence, and the station showed one last terrifying exhibition. Corpses and creatures crowding narrow corridors, blood smeared on shattered windows, and festering flesh that dripped down the stairs. Jill Valentine, a founding member of STARS. Jill was born to a French father and a Japanese mother, joining the United States Army at an extremely young age. While in the Army, she received the attention of recruiters from Delta Force, the nation's primary counterterrorism group, despite women's recruitment being all but non-existent at that time. There, she excelled at bomb defusal and lockpicking, giving her the affectionate nickname, the Master of Unlocking. After leaving the Army in 1996, Valentine was recruited to the Raccoon City's Special Tactics and Rescue Service, also known as STARS, by Captain Albert Wesker. Despite keeping her Special Forces training and personal life a secret, she made friends with several STARS members during this time, including Chris Redfield, with whom she developed a close personal friendship and partnership. In the spring and early summer of 1998, Raccoon City was haunted by the deaths of a number of hikers and suburban families, which involved both vicious dog attacks and group cannibalism. When the Raccoon Police Department was at a loss, STARS was ordered into the Clay Mountains in search of a suspected hideout. Bravo team was sent out on the night of July 23rd, and contact was subsequently lost. The following day, the Alpha team was sent out to investigate their disappearance and continue their investigation. The mission quickly went off the rails after locating Bravo Team's helicopter, and Alpha Team was attacked by a pack of zombified canines, forcing them to take shelter in a remote mansion built in the middle of the woods. The team recognized the oddity of the mansion and the creatures that they had run into. So, Jill, with the rest of her STARS members, investigated the mansion, while trying to search for the remnants of Bravo Team. In their investigation, they found out that the pharmaceutical company Umbrella was responsible for a biological outbreak, the virus in question being known as the T-virus or Tyrant virus. The virus could cause the zombification of humans infected, as well as various other mutations in animals, and, in some rare instances, plant life. Jill and her remaining team members, Chris, Barry, and the sole surviving Bravo team member, Rebecca, eventually found out that their captain, Albert Wesker, not only worked for Umbrella, but that luring them all into the mansion had always been part of his plan. Though these remaining members of STARS escaped and tried to warn the populace of what Umbrella had done, the company's influence ran deeper than anyone could have thought. In order to bring down this giant, the members of STARS would need to be extremely careful. And so, everyone split up, with each member doing what they could to uncover the dirt needed to bring the corporation down. For her part, Jill remained in Raccoon City, keeping an eye on her health to ensure that she would not spread the virus were she have to have been infected from the mansion incident. Afterwards, she would plan to meet Chris in Europe, but unfortunately, not even 3 days before she was to leave, the city was struck with a pandemic as the T-virus spread throughout the city. In order to keep herself alive, Jill planned to immediately evacuate, but a lethal and ruthless super soldier labeled Nemesis was on her trail. In this particular timeline, Jill managed to dodge Nemesis throughout the city, while dealing the creature a few successful blows of her own, before she sought shelter in her old workplace, the Raccoon City Police Department. Hearing echoes of other survivors, as well as the monsters that now inhabited the station's halls, Jill rushed to the basement and picked the lock of a cold room, hoping to trap the Nemesis inside. But once she opened those doors, her body turned numb as a black fog engulfed her. Jill's first perk is Counterforce. Jill knows how to withstand an enemy stronger than herself, and it's all about taking their legs out from under them. With Counterforce, Jill cleanses tokens 20% faster and gains an additional stackable 20% speed boost for each totem she cleanses. After she cleanses one totem, the aura of the furthest totem from her is revealed to her for a short duration. Jill's second perk is Resurgence. Jill has a knack for coming back from impossible odds, and she'll do it again. After being unhooked or unhooking herself, Jill instantly gains back a decent portion of her healing progress instantly. Jill's final perk is Blast Mine. When direct combat is not an option, she still finds a way to strike back. After repairing generators for a certain percentage, Blast Mine activates. After that is done, Jill can install a blast mine on a generator she has been working on for at least 3 seconds by pressing the action button. The aura of this generator is shown in yellow to all survivors. If the killer damages a trapped generator, the trap explodes, stunning them and blinding everyone nearby. After a blast mine has been installed, the perk deactivates. Jill now runs not only through the halls of the Raccoon City Police Department, but through many places that she never thought she would visit. While she still has to worry about the Nemesis and the other killers that are hunting her, she isn't going to be alone in this endeavor. Leon Scott Kennedy, the rookie police officer. Not much is known about Leon's early life, except that he figured out pretty early on that he wanted to become a police officer. After getting into an argument with his girlfriend about his imminent departure to become a member of the R.P.D. in Raccoon City, she broke up with Leon. And so, without an apartment or place to stay, Leon made his way to the midwestern town. Along the way, he stopped by a gas station, and hearing a commotion inside, he ran into a young college student, Claire Redfield, and the two quickly learned about the zombies and creatures that now infested the city. Or at least, that's what could have happened, and does happen in most timelines. But it didn't happen for this version of Leon. This Leon never ran into Claire on the outskirts of the city, or in the city proper. and instead made his way to the city on his own. Upon seeing the ruined state that Raccoon City was in, he made his way to the police department. Suiting up, he did what he was trained to do, and tried to help as many people as he could. While in the police station, he ran across a woman who was being chased by a massive creature. He followed the two into the cold storage area of the R.P.D, but found that both had disappeared from a dead end with no way out. As if the night couldn't have been even more bizarre, Leon learned that the cause of this outbreak was the Umbrella Corporation, thanks to a woman who introduced herself as FBI agent Ada Wong. Intent on helping her find out the true nature of what was happening in the city, Leon infiltrated an abandoned Umbrella Corporation laboratory when suddenly an unexpected black fog led him astray. Suddenly alone, Leon was going to find out that his worst first day possible was far from over. Leon's first perk is Bite the Bullet. Pain hurts Leon as much as anyone, but he would prefer if others not know that. When healing, Leon makes no noise, including grunts of pain. Along with this, failed healing skill checks do not trigger a loud noise notification, and the overall regression penalty is reduced. Leon's second perk is Flashbang. Through his trials, Leon has adapted to a world in chaos, and making what you can from the debris. With Flashbang, after repairing generators for a period of time, this perk will activate. Entering a locker while without an item will allow you to craft a Flashbang grenade by pressing the action button. Using a Flashbang will cause Leon to drop it on the ground, triggering a loud noise notification and blinding everyone within a certain distance with a flash of light. A Flashbang can only be used once, and cannot be taken with you once the trial ends. Leon's final perk is Rookie Spirit. Leon tends to keep a careful eye on objectives when they are slipping away. After completing a certain number of good or great skill checks on generators, Rookie Spirit activates and remains active the rest of the trial. With it, Leon will be able to see the aura of any generators that are currently regressing. Leon Scott Kennedy, a young officer dealing with the worst first day on the job ever, has now been brought into the entity's realm. Even though he has been brought in with a trained veteran, Jill Valentine, there is still something here that will test them both, as it hunts down all survivors it comes across. Nemesis T-Type, the Nemesis. When the pharmaceutical company Umbrella was commissioned to create a series of bioorganic weapons for the US Army, they went through extensive genetic research to find the best possible way to create living weapons. Unfortunately, a major flaw in the virus they used for their primary research was the subpar intelligence that nearly all of their creations suffered from. In order to be used in a bioweapons program, their creatures would need human or similar to human intelligence so that they could follow orders or be controlled to an extent needed. The company found some success with their Hunter series, but they struck gold when the Arclay Laboratory set up the Tyrant Project, which aimed to create human mutants without the loss of intelligence. While some of their attempts fell by the wayside, they were eventually successful in producing the T-002 Tyrant and the T-103 Tyrant line. While the T-103 Tyrants were deemed to be the most successful out of everything in the project, future attempts to modify the line resulted in a new variant when an NE alpha parasite was implanted in several of the creatures. The further mutation these creatures had led to something that Umbrella didn't expect. This new Tyrant variation, known as the Nemesis line, showed evidence of self-awareness, ego, and their own unique desires. This was proven when two of the line attempted to escape the lab in which they were held, killing several scientists in the process. When Umbrella received word that an outbreak of the T-virus had occurred in Raccoon City, Umbrella Europe took advantage of the situation by shipping its BOWs to test them out during the crisis. A legion of T-103 tyrants were sent in to eliminate anyone who could pose a threat to the company, and one Nemesis prototype was sent in with one clear goal: hunt down and kill all remaining members of STARS within the city by any means necessary. This Nemesis is a nearly unstoppable bioorganic weapon fixated on pursuing and eliminating its targets. Rampaging through the city, the Nemesis faced off against its target, Jill Valentine, multiple times, and though she managed to escape, he was never far behind, chasing the veteran officer into the depths of the Raccoon City police station. He nearly had his target when a strange fog descended upon them, mixing the smoke of the city in chaos. The phenomenon meant nothing to him, the frigid, cold, and decreased oxygen never posing a threat. All that mattered was soldiering into the fog and continuing the mission. Find STARS, eliminate STARS, and kill anyone who gets in the way. The Nemesis's power is T-virus. There are two main parts to the Nemesis's T-virus infection. The first is a special attack, Tentacle Strike. Holding down the power button to charge an attack will allow the Nemesis to lash out in a ranged strike. Hitting a survivor with a Tentacle Strike affects them with contamination and increases the Nemesis's mutation rate. If a survivor is already contaminated, then the Tentacle Strike will damage them outright. As the Nemesis mutates as it contaminates survivors, its Tentacle Strike will become more and more powerful. At mutation rate 2, the Tentacle Strike can destroy breakable walls and pallets, with mutation rate 3 increasing the strike's range. Along with this, the T-virus causes two mindless zombies to spawn and roam around the trial grounds. When a zombie attacks a survivor, they will also inflict contamination, or if the survivor is already contaminated, they will receive damage instead. Zombies can also be destroyed by the Nemesis, and if done with the Tentacle Strike, they will slightly increase the Nemesis's mutation rate. Survivors can kill zombies by hitting them with a pallet or stunning them with head-on. Zombies can also be blinded with a flashlight, firecracker, or flashbang. If a zombie has been destroyed by the Nemesis, it will respawn in a random location after 12 seconds. If a zombie is destroyed by survivors, it will respawn after 45 seconds. The Nemesis's first perk is Lethal Pursuer. The Nemesis was designed specifically to track down and eliminate its targets. At the start of each trial, the aura of all survivors are revealed to the Nemesis for a duration. The Nemesis's second perk is Hysteria. The Nemesis knows how to brutalize one member of a team to cause a panic. Whenever the Nemesis puts a survivor into the injured state, all already injured survivors suffer from the Oblivious status effect for up to 30 seconds. The Nemesis's final perk is Eruption. The NE Alpha parasite provides the Nemesis with the intelligence and awareness needed to set a trap. After kicking a generator, its aura is highlighted in yellow. When the Nemesis puts a survivor into the dying state, every affected generator explodes and starts regressing, immediately providing a 6% penalty and removing the highlighted aura. Any survivor repairing a generator when it explodes will scream and suffer from the incapacitated status for a short duration. The Nemesis now fights to find its prey, but for the entity, all survivors are prey, and all survivors will learn just how effective a bioweapon can truly be. And That's it for this episode of LoreDive. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to support the creation of these videos, you can do so through my official Patreon, linked down below. Special thanks, of course, to Jack Freeman for supporting me in this way. All Patreon viewers will be able to see videos a day earlier than they would be released on YouTube. And if I start making certain goals on Patreon, I'll be able to start making different types of videos. You can also join my Discord channel as well as hop by my Twitch channel, also through links down below if you feel like it. So, with that being said, I thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.